Good evening, and thank you for attending today's workshop. Let me start with introducing myself. My name is Hisham Al-Sarhan, and I'm a faculty member at the Department of Information Studies at Kuwait University uh, at the College of Social Sciences. First, on behalf of the Distance Learning Committee at the College of Social Sciences, I would like to thank you all for participating in this workshop. I hope that we can give you some information about Microsoft Teams in this workshop, and which can help you during the coming semester when we start the distant learning program at Kuwait University. Before I start, I just want to mention that this is a one-way stream workshop, so I'll be explaining the topic that we will have today, but you will be able to ask questions during this session. If you look at your screen, you will see the question mark area. You can ask any question during the sessions while I explain or go through the steps or the topic that we will cover today. And at the end of this workshop, I will be answering these questions. So during this session, we will go through different topics. Uh, at first, we will talk about or look at how can a student reset their password for their Kuwait University's email. And then we will talk about or we'll explain how you can download Microsoft Teams into your desktop, laptop, or maybe your mobile devices or tablets devices. We will also cover how you could change your personal settings in Microsoft Teams, such as changing the pictures or the notification settings. We will demonstrate how you can join a class or a team in Microsoft Teams. We will also cover how you could communicate with your through Microsoft Teams, either publicly, like all attendees or students of the class, or privately, maybe with your instructor through Teams. And then we will look. You could download or upload class materials into Microsoft Teams. We will demonstrate how you could join a live lecture. So when an instructor at a live lecture or a live lesson, you would be able to join Microsoft Teams and features during the live sessions. And then we will move on to assignments and even quizzes, and how to submit maybe assignments or complete online quizzes in Microsoft Teams. And the last thing we will cover is about your grades, how you'd be able to view your grades for the assignment or quizzes in Microsoft Teams after the instructor posts them. And after that, we will move on to the questions and answers time. So this is basically the topics we will cover today. So let's move on and let's start with resetting a student's password. Now, for this step, to set your student's password, or this is all necessarily for those who's having trouble signing into their Microsoft 365 account. If you are good with or if you are able to sign into your account, then you don't have to do this step. So this is basically a step for those who are having trouble with signing in using their university's email account. So that in order to use Microsoft Teams, you need two things. You need your university's email, and you need to set your password. If you haven't done so, this is the step. So to set up your password for Microsoft applications at Kuwait University, you need to go to this website, which is MS, that's for Microsoft, then PWD, that's for password, then reset, mspwd reset.ku.edu.kw. When you go to this website, when you enter to this web, this is what you're going to see. The system or the website will ask for university ID. So this is your student ID. You enter your student ID and then you click next. After that, the system will ask you to enter your personal email. Your personal email is your Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo account. That's your personal email. So it's the email that you will use. We're not asking for the KU email here. It's asking for your personal email. So you would enter your personal email in this area. And then you would click next. The reason it's asking for your personal email is that because the system will be sending a security code to that email. So as soon as you click next, you need to go and check that email, and then you will see that you have received a message from Kuwait University Systems giving you a code, a security code. You need to copy that code and then paste it in this area. So it's a verification, just so it's to verify that the email that you have entered is yours. So you would enter the code into this area that you would receive it at your personal email, and then you click next. And then after that, the system will give you the chance to enter a new password. Now, when you enter a new password, there are certain rules for this password. It must have at least 8 characters, and it should include a capital letter, it should include a small letter, and should include numbers. So when you want to come up with a new password for your account, make sure that you cover all of these requirements. It should be at least 8 characters. You could have more than 8, but it should include a capital letter, and it also should include a small letter, and it should include a number in your password. So try to come up with a good password, and then you have to enter it twice, and then you click next. Now that's the previous steps up to this point. This is setting your Kuwait University's password. However, some students have mentioned that they have some problem knowing the username, their email accounts, that they are not being able to know what is their email account, what is the username for their email account. So there is a way using the Kuwait University's portal to find out your email, the username of your email. So that's the name that you will have before the @ dot then you will have the name of the college, then .ku.edu.kw. So the way to find out your KU or Kuwait University's email account is to go to the Kuwait University portal. Just like when you go to register for your classes, just enter the username. In this case, the username will be your student ID number, and then you will enter the password, and then you will log into the system, into your own system. When you log into the system, now I apologize, these are in Arabic because I don't have an access to a student's view of the system. So we asked a student to help us with that, and he used an Arabic interface. But it's basically, when you go into your account, you will go to the My File sections, and then you click on Personal Information. You will go into My File and click on Personal Information. After that, a page will appear with your email on it. Of course, we're covering the student's email here, but as you can see, it will give you the username, which we have covered here, and then then it would show which college are you from. So if you are from the College of Engineering, it will have ENG, I think. If you're College of Science, it will be SCI. And if you're College of Social Sciences, it will be css.ku.edu.kw. So that would be your email. So now you have the two things, the two information that you need to access Microsoft Teams. You have a password and you have an email address, a Kuwait University email address, and this is very important if you want to use Microsoft Teams. Now, also we would recommend or we would suggest for all the students to download Microsoft Teams into their different devices. Now, this is one of the advantages of using Microsoft Teams, is that you can use it in your desktop, laptop, on your mobile phones, or in your tablets, whether if you have an iPad or Galaxy tablets. So you could just go to the app stores in iTunes and find Teams, search for Microsoft Teams, and download it in your device. Or if you're using an Android system, go to the Play Store and download it. Or if you're using a Windows-based system, you could download the application to your own device, or even an Apple system, you could download it from the App Store. So you could have the application or the Microsoft Teams into these different devices. As I said, it is recommended to use Microsoft Teams and using a computer or laptop, a desktop or laptop. But it is possible to have a lot of the features using your mobile devices or your tablets. It's many of the features that you would be able to have an access to these features using your mobile or online devices. In today's lecture, we will focus only on how to use these features on the computer screen. But as I said, the interface will be a little bit different, but the features should be available when you use your mobile devices. Okay, so let's move on. So we already have covered two topics of today's lectures. We said we're going to talk about resetting your password for the Kuwait University and how to download, and talking about downloading Microsoft Teams. Now, for the rest of the topics, we have to go into Microsoft Teams so I can show you all of these steps. So we'll talk about how you can change your personal setting, join a team, sending messages and downloading, uploading files, joining a live lectures, and we'll talk about assignment and grades as well. And that at the end, we will talk about, we'll try to answer your questions. So let me go and change the screen and go into Microsoft Teams. As I said, now you could download Microsoft Teams into the different devices, but you can also access Microsoft Teams from any browser. So if you're using Firefox, Safari, Google Chrome, you would be able to access Microsoft online using a browser. You don't have to download, but it's better if you download the application on your device. So the way to do that, just go to teams.microsoft.com. And this will take you to the page of Microsoft. Now, because I've already signed in to the account, it's showing my email address. But what will happen is that it will ask you to sign in. So you would be using your email, your Kuwait University's email when you want to sign in. So when you go into this page, you should be able to access this page and enter your university email. Click next. Then you will have to enter your new password, the one that you created or the one that you have for Kuwait University's email, and then click on sign in. And that's should be loading now, and we'll be able to access. Okay, I want to use the web application. Yes. So it happens sometimes the connections might, have some issues with it. Just keep trying and you will be able to access into your account. It shouldn't be any problem. Now, when we look into the interface, so this is basically, now we are in Microsoft Teams, and as I said, I'm using the web version of Microsoft Teams. And as soon as you enter into your account, you will see that the system will show all the team that you are part of. So now, because I'm already part of several teams related to our work at the university, for example, our department or different committees, or even some demo classes that we have created for the demonstration. So these teams will show in my interface on the main page that we will, when we enter to the system. Now for students, it's supposed to show you classes. However, hasn't been done. There have been some work now at Kuwait universities that is to add students automatically to their classes. So it's supposed to be like in the future, when you enter into your account, you're supposed to find all of your classes into this window. However, hasn't been done yet. It hasn't been completed yet, but there's some work to do that. So until that time, we will look into how would you add your classes. So if the instructors, there's other ways to add your classes or to join classes in teams. We will explain that. But let's first try to explain the interface, the page. So teams basically divided into two main sections. You can see we have on the left, we have the menu section. It's a vertical menu section. And then we have the main page in the middle. Now teams, if I click on teams, it will show me this page. This is basically, we are now at teams. So it will show all the teams that I'm part of. Now, if you don't have any teams, the page you're gonna see is this one. This is if you are not part of any teams, if you haven't participated, if you haven't received any code, this is the page that it will show in your screen. And this is join a team with a code. This is how you would be able to join a team, is when your instructor or your professor would send you a code. You would enter the code here in this area, and then you will be able to join that class. So if you have teams, if I click on teams, it will show the team that I'm already a part of. If I'm not part of any teams, this is the page I'll be seeing in my screen. Okay, next we have a calendar and the menu. We're gonna go through the menu. Now the order of this might be different. It depends. You could change the order of these items in the menu. So I did reorganize them, and I don't remember what was the original order of them, but you will see them. So we have a calendar. A calendar basically is to show all of your meetings, and that would be all appointments, all of your meetings and appointments that you have based on either a weekly view, a daily view, or work week, or a weekly view. So it's basically shows it's a calendar, and it will show all of the meetings that you would have using Microsoft Teams or any other appointment that you already have for your you add to your calendar. The advantage here is that if you are part of a team and then your professor or the doctor add a live session to the calendar of that team, it will be automatically added to your own calendar. And this is what been trying to tell faculty members, is to add their lessons. So if you have classes, so that means all of your classes will show in the calendar and the time of these classes. So if you have any class, it will show on the calendar, and then you can join these live classes by just clicking on when the time comes, click on the class and then click on the link, and you will be able to join the live lesson of that class. So this is a very big advantage in Teams. But when the instructor add a lesson or add a time for their live lessons, it will show in your own calendar if you are part of that class. Then we have the chat sections, and this is basically a place to help you communicate with your classmates or with the instructor, and we will show that later. Then we have a file section, which will show all the files that you have in Teams from the different classes in one place. So every team or every class, there would be some files, class materials, presentations, slides, readings, whatever the faculties would include in that class. All of these files from all the teams you could see in one place. Similarly with assignments, if you click on assignment, it will show all the assignments from all different classes also in one place. So it will show the name of the classes, and when you click on any class, you will see the assignment of that class in one place. So it's a way to help. Activities, basically to show the different activities that is happening in Teams, whether related to your account. So if someone send you a message, if someone sent a message to a team that you are part of, you will see that in activity. There's also a call function. You'll be able to communicate either face-to-face or voice communication with the members, either the members in your class or with the instructor. You would be able to use the call functions. Now, and there's other items you could add in the menu, more added apps. So you could add other items as well. We will not look into this. Now at the bottom, there's three more items in the menu. Apps, it's to add additional applications to your menu. Help is a very good place if you have any question about Teams, or if you want to get more trainings about Teams. It can provide you some useful tips and useful information about how to use Teams. And then the last one, this is the important link. If you want to download the Microsoft Teams into your device. So as I said, currently I'm accessing Microsoft Teams from the web browser. Because the reason I'm doing that, because I'm using the downloaded version for this live stream. So I'm being able to stream this workshop because I'm using the downloaded version. But if I don't have the downloaded version, if I want to download it into my device, into my computer, into my phone, or whatever device I'm using, all I have to do is just to click on this link, and then I would be able to download the application into my device. It's at the end of the bottom, at the left hand. Okay, so let's talk about, as we said, we have different topics. So we covered the general topics here. Let's go back first to Teams, the main page, and then let's talk about how do you change your personal settings in Teams. It's very simple. Personal setting, I mean, is if you want to change the pictures, usually you have the first two letters of your name. So if you could change the picture, if you can add a picture, and you could change the notification setting specifically. That's very important to consider when you use Teams. So if you want to change your personal setting, all you have to do is to go to your avatar or your image at the top right hand and click on it, and then you can, if you want to change the picture, just click on change picture. Click and change picture, and you could upload any picture that you have in your device, and you can have your own pictures for your account. So this is something you could do. Now, the status of your account, you could change it as well whenever you go to Teams. Currently, I'm presenting, so it's showing that I'm presenting, but I could change it to available, busy, do not disturb, or even I could set a status message. I could have my own custom message. Okay, so let's go to setting. This is the part where we need to know, or it could help us to change some personal settings as well. So if I click on setting, the first thing, I could change the theme of the application. So if I want to have, currently I'm having the default colors, the default colors of the applications. We could have a dark colors, we have a high contrast colors. It depends on your choice. Also, you could change the layout. Currently, I'm using the grid layout. I could make it a list if I want to. And you can see, like, the list behind in the screen behind it, it changed a little bit to show me the list of the teams or the list of classes. Or if I want to prefer to use a grid appearance of the layout, I would use that, and I would prefer the grid layout. Now, this is a place where if I want to change the language, if currently I'm using the English interface, if I want to change it to Arabic, I would be able, or any other language, French, for example, or any other language, I could do it from this space here, or from this drop-down menu. All I have to do is to go and look for the language that I'm interested in. So all the languages, there's a lot of languages in here. So if I want to, for example, change it to Arabic language, It's already in here. I could do that if I want to. Okay, then we have a privacy menu, a privacy things. Usually I don't change these, but you could look into them. These are also depend on your personal preference. Notification is important, and this is basically related to how do you to help you specify how do you want the program to notify you in regard to different types of activities that would happen in these teams. So, for example, if someone mentioned you personally, do you want to get an email or banner, or you want to get it only within the system? A banner means within the system, within team. Email means you're gonna receive an email, for example. Only show in feed, that will only show in the activity section of the menu, which we talked about earlier. So you could talk about if someone mentioned a channel that you made or part of, or if someone mentioned a team that you're part of, how do you want to get these notifications? If someone send you a chat message, how do you want to get this notification? Do you want to get an email and also showed in the system? So you could go through all of these options related to notifications. And it's better if you activate the notification to make sure that you wouldn't be missing any important messages from your classes. So just to make sure that you have you set up your notification in a proper way to help you during the distance learning period. So this is basically the settings. As I said, you just click on your picture, or you click on the avatar area, and you will be able to change the personal setting. How to join a team? As I said, if you already have, if you are part of teams, it will show these teams in your screen. To join a new team, or maybe like a new class, you go to the upper right hand and click on join or create teams, and it will show you this window. Now I think students they don't have the option to create their own teams, but I think they will only have the option to join teams. So this is where your instructor will give you a code. Now the way he will send you the code, either maybe by email or through Mayu, or in any way he usually communicate with you. As I said, the plan now in the future is that all of the students are supposed to be added automatically to teams. However, this hasn't been done yet. So just in case, make sure that you have a clear way, or you know how your faculty, your instructors will be able to contact you in order to join their classes, because the way the current option for the faculties to add their students is to send the codes. So just make sure that, or if you ask any of your friends in the class, if you hear about that your faculty have posted a code or has been sending a code, try to contact your faculty member to get the code, and then you would be able to join into the class. Just make sure to get it directly from your professor, because the professors have the option to change the codes as well. So just make sure that you get the code from you directly from your professor. Okay, so this is how you could join a team. Now, if you want to send, let's go back to the team page so we can see team page. Let me go now to a sample class, for example. So if I click on one of the classes, let me go back again just to show you. So I'm going to go into this class, مدخل إلى العلوم السياسية, which is Introduction to Political Science. This is a demo class we've made, and I'm in that class as a student. So I'm going to show you how a student would be able to see a class. So when it's time for me to go and check into the class, I will click on it, and then I will enter the class. And now let's explain the interface of that class. As we said, we have the main menu of teams on the left. It's already here, but additional white area has been added. And as you can see, there's called general, and then there are different lines, and these are called channels. And if you want to think of it, it's maybe like different parts or different sections of your class. your professor or your instructor have the option to divide the class into different sections, either for different groups. For example, we have a group A project, for example, or maybe different sections of the materials like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, or maybe for to review the exams. So we have, for example, a review or discussion of the first test, a discussion or review maybe of the final exam. So your faculty could organize their classes in sections, and that would be very useful to help the students locate the materials and the item related to any section or maybe to any group easily. But these sections are created by the faculty. So, for example, the faculty might have, or in the class, we might have 4 or 5 groups. So we have group A, B, C, D. But because I'm only in group A, I can only see group A. And as you can see, there's a lock in front of it, means this is a private group. So only the student that in group A will be able to see this channel. Other students in different groups will see their own. They will not be able to see group A if they are not members in group A. Other channels are public for everyone, like this is chapter 1. I can see this is discussion of the first test. I can see it because I'm channel is not private and it's open to the to everyone. So this section is basically is channels, and this is depend on the faculty. They can divide their classes into channels or sections based on the way they want to organize their classes. Now, when I go to, currently we are in the general channel, so every class will have a general channel. We are currently in the general channel. The general channel is also divided into sections, so each channel is also divided into sections. The first section is post, and this is basically the main forum or the main area in which students and faculty can discuss things publicly. So if I want to share something publicly with my class, or if the teacher, the instructor, want to send a message publicly to the class, they can do it in this area. So for example, this is an introduction, this is information about the class. Muhandisa Fatma, Engineer Fatma Al-Midden have posted this. She's the instructor of this class. So she sent a post about this class, the name of the class, and it's about the second semester of the year 2019-2020, and then she added more details, the timing, so this is a public post. It's an announcement that she sent to the class, how the grade will be distributed, all the information she sent into this post. Now, as a student in this class, I might be able to respond to this post. Depend on the faculty. Now, if she enables the student to respond to a post, we will be able to reply and respond to it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do that. So it depends on the post and the message that the faculty or the members send to the students. And not only that, if the faculty allows it, a student can share or post their own post. I can send my own messages directly to this public area, maybe to start a discussion, general questions, and everyone in the class will be able to see this post. So let's just give an example here, for example. So if I want to post, I will go at the bottom part here, and then I could just type a message. For example, hello everyone. And then click on send, and see I have a new post sent to the class. Everyone in the class will be able to see, and they can reply to me. I could reply to them. So if someone replied, for example, and then I could reply back to them, and we could have a discussion within that. So this is basically to communicate publicly into the class. Now, if I want to communicate privately or ask my instructor private questions, yes, now as you can see, Engineer Fatma, which is the instructor of the class, has responded back to us, and she could even added a feedback about our post. She has a thumb up, and we could do the same thing with her. So I could add a thumbs up to her post, and I could reply back. And as I said, this would be open to everyone. So I could say thank you, and we could have a conversation, or we could start a conversation with everyone. I could attach files like images. I could add emojis. I could change the text. And if, for example, if I want to make it larger, or maybe change the color, of the text, I think this is it. Yep. Make it bold, italic. I could do many things when I send a post, and then send it, so it would show. So as I said, this is the option where we can have a general discussion. If I want to send a private message to, for example, Engineer Fatma as the instructor, there's two options. I could either click on the pen at the top, which will start a new chat, or I can go directly to the chat area at the left-hand menu. So, for example, if I want to start a new chat to Engineer Fatma, I just click on the chat menu, and then I would enter the name of that person. So if I just start typing the name of that person, so that's Engineer Fatma, for example, and then so that's a message. So I could say, hello, when is the exam? When is the, they could send it. So this is sent directly to Engineer Fatma. So this is basically a way to, and she could answer and respond back at the chat section. Let me come back here so we can move on to the other topic. So this is basically the way, if you want to send a private message, we go to the chat section. If you want to send a public message, we could do it in the post area. Now, other than the post sections now, in each channels, let's go back and look at the channels. Now, each one of these channels will have a post area by itself. So if I go to chapter 1, I will have a post area, so we could discuss things about related to chapter 1 in this section. If I want to discuss things about chapter 2, I could do that in this area in chapter. If I want to discuss with my team, which is a private group, only the people in my group will be able to have access to this area. I could do that discussion in this section. So we could discuss and share files and talk about it, and nobody else in the class will be disturbed or will have access to this conversation in these different channels. Okay, so let's go back to the general channels. Let's go to the next section, which is file. This is where usually the faculty would add the class materials for the class. So if I click on files, it should open. We will see a folder here called class materials. If I click on it, I would be able to see all the class material the instructors would include for this class. So for example, we have one PDF files here, but they could add PowerPoint files, Microsoft file, any type of files can be included in this area. And this would be my class materials. I would have access to all these files. I could download them into my device, so I could have access. Just highlight the one you want, the folder or the file that you want, and click on download, and you'll be able, and you could even open it within the system. I'm not going to do that because sometimes it would take some, if it's a large file, it will take some time to open it. But you could download it, open it, and you have access to these files. Not only that, you could have, if we go back to the general section, you could add your own files. For example, if I want to add a file, so all the students would be able to see it. So as we said, the general section is open for all the students. So anything I would add in this area, everyone in the class will have access to it. I could create a new folder, for example, under my name, and then add any material that I want to share with the class in that folder. So I've created a new folder, and let's open that folder. Now I'm under the folder, And then I could upload from my own computer any files, any PDF, any PowerPoint slide, whatever thing that I want to share, maybe after I take the permission from the instructor, and I could share it with the student. Or I could even create a new file directly from within Microsoft Teams, and these include Microsoft Word files, Excel, PowerPoint files, forms, whatever. So if I, for example, want to create a Microsoft Word file, I'll create, for example, notes of first class. For example, if I want to share my notes with the class and the instructors would allow that, so I would be able to do that. So I'll just, so this is the file. As you can see now, I'm using Microsoft Word, but within Teams. I'm creating a new file. And I could type maybe the date, the topic, the main ideas, and I could add as many information that I want to share maybe with my classmates in the class. When I'm done, click on close, and that folder is available now for all the students to see as well. So this is a way we could upload or download the material, the class materials in Microsoft Teams. A class notebook, this is basically an option, but can only be activated by the instructor. If the instructor allows for class notes, a class notebook, this is basically a OneNote application, and I encourage the student to learn about OneNote. It's a very powerful tool from Microsoft that could help students organize their class notes. So this is a way to integrate OneNote with Microsoft Teams. However, it can be only accessible when the instructors allow it. And there will be different ways, different types of class notes. Some of them are shared with the rest of the student, and some of them can be used privately by each student by themselves. And then we have the assignment sections. This is where the instructor will post their assignments for the class, and they can post any type of assignment, and it will show each assignment will have a grading points. For example, these assignments, first assignment, second assignment, they have grading points, and it will have a due date. And as you can see, this in red because the due date has already passed. I didn't do this assignment, so they already passed. If I want to look into this assignment, just click on them, and then I can see that the instructor have uploaded a file for me to answer with all the questions in the file. So I would be able to add my answers into these files and then submit the assignment to the teachers. So I could open these files and they answer all the questions, and then click close. And then I would turn in. Now turn in for me for this assignment to be turned in late because the due date has already passed. Not only that, we should be careful because this assignment will close in June 19th, so I have 2 days. After June 19th, I wouldn't be able to turn in this assignment. So I have this window for the, so the due date of the assignment was June 13th. The final date to submit the assignment is June 19th. After that, I wouldn't be able to submit the assignment. If I want to add an extra, for example, if I want to add my own file of works of the assignment, I could do that as well. So if the instructors, for example, just wrote the question and told us to create a presentation file, for example, I could do add work, and I could maybe add a PowerPoint file or maybe create a new file, as I said. If the instructor is asking me to create maybe a new PowerPoint presentation, I could do that directly. Or I could add files from OneDrive or upload it from my device. I could do that. So it all depends on the instructions of the professor or the doctor of the class. What they require, we could do that. And then when I'm done, I just click on turn in. So now, as you can see now, when we did turn in, since we still have an open, we still have time. The last day for submitting the assignment, June 19. If, for example, if I forget to do a question, if I need to review my assignment, I would be able to undo the turn-in. However, it will show the instructor that you did the turn-in and then you did the undo and then you did the turn-in again. So every step or every activity within the system will be shown to the professor. So they will see exactly the step that you've been taking. But just in case, for example, you remembered something or you discovered that you didn't understand one question very well and you answered it in the wrong way and you want to fix that, you would be able to do that to undo the turn-in and then answer the question and send it back again to the instructor. So this is one way, as I said, to turn in the assignment. So if we go back to the assignment sections, we can see that now I only have one assigned, the completed one. If I click on the completed, it will show that I did the first one and there's a check mark, which means that I have already submitted it. The grade for the assignments, for any assignments or quizzes that I would submit, it will show on the grade tab or the grade section. So when I click on the grade, it should show when the instructors grade my assignments, it will show the points here. So, and it will even show, as I said, the status of that assignment. So it would show that I have already viewed, for example, the first test, but I didn't submit it. This one is turned in 4 days late. So all of these details will be shown to the instructor. So, and I'll be able to see all my grades in this area. Okay, just a reminder for those maybe who entered the session late. If you have any questions while I'm presenting, there's a question mark sign in your screen. You can click on it. You can type in whatever question that you want and send it to me. And at the end of the session, I will try to answer these questions. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so this is the assignment. We explained the assignment. These are the completed assignments. And we explained the grades. Let's talk about how to join a live session. Let's talk about how to join a live session. So to join a live session, there's 2 ways to do that. If the instructor posted the sessions earlier in the main stream or post, you would be able to join the session from there. So for example, here's our instructor, Engineer Fatma, have scheduled a meeting. And this meeting, for example, is going to be on Tuesday, June 16. So, but this is like in the past, and this is maybe that's another meeting that she has scheduled. So every time the instructor schedules a meeting, a post will show in our screen, and we should get a notification about it. If we have the notification setting correct, so we would be able to get notification on our mobiles and our devices that there's a new post from the instructor and it's about a meeting that would happen on a certain day at a certain time. So if I want to join a meeting, all I have to do is just click on it and there will be a join, as you can see on the top right hand, a join button. So when I click that, now, as I said, this meeting has happened in the past, but I would be able to join. Now, before you join into any meeting, there's the option for you to turn off your camera and your microphone. So as you can see, I have turned off my camera and microphone. This is before joining the meeting. I haven't joined the meeting yet. It's just giving you the option that you could turn off your microphone and you could turn off your camera and you could turn off your mic. And this is recommended before you join the meeting. It is recommended to turn off your microphone and your camera. So when you join, maybe the instructor has already started, so there wouldn't be any disturbance in the listening. So when I click join, I should be able to join into the meeting, and I would be able to see, if I click on show participants, I would be able to see who is in that meeting. Currently, I'm the only one. Nobody's here because this meeting has already ended. But I would be able to see who's in that meeting as participant. Okay, and then there's also a chat area. So I would be, currently I'm a student joining this meeting. I would only have the option to listen. And if I have a question during the class, there's two ways to do that. Either I could click on show conversation, and then I could type in my question during the meeting, and everyone in the class would be able to see it. Or maybe if I have a comment, or if I want to add an idea, I could type it, and then everyone in the class would be able to see. Or if I want to talk about it, I could raise my hand, click on raise your hand, the menu, and it will show, when we go back to participant, it will show next to my name, the raising hand icon. And the instructor will be able to see that. The instructor will be able to see that. So in that case, he could give me the permission to speak. Only then I could turn on my microphone and then can speak, and everyone has. So it's a way to organize the meeting. Now, also during the meeting, the instructor might give us the option, for example, to share our screens. So if I want to present, for example, a PowerPoint file or my screen, or if I have a presentation to do. Now this is only if the instructor give you a permission to do that. Usually, if there's no plan for any student to present, this option will not work. You will not be able to click on the share icon. So it will be turned off. And you will not be able to share your screen or share a file, maybe to present to the student, and everyone can see and listen and hear what you have to present. Okay. It's similarly with the recording option. There's a recording option. Usually this is only available for the instructor. Nobody is allowed, and the instructor could control that. Only the instructor can record these lessons. And you could, the instructor could control the meetings, or the option of these meetings. Similarly, the instructor had the choice to turn off all cameras on. So if anyone come into the class with the camera on, and if the instructor prefers nobody share the camera, the instructor will have the option to do that as well. The same thing with the microphone. The instructor will have the option to mute anyone's microphone in the class. However, the instructor will not be able to turn the camera on or unmute anyone. So if the instructor mute my microphone and then ask me to speak, he cannot turn my microphone on or my camera on. I'm the only one who had that option to turn my microphone or my camera on. Okay, so after I'm done from the meeting, all I have to do is just to click on hang up, and then I'll be able to leave that meeting and go back to the team. And that's it. Now the other option, or the other way to join this meeting, is, as I said, through the calendar. If I go to a calendar, and I could see, for example, that an instructor had a class. Let me see if I have classes in the future, maybe. Yes, all of these are cancelled. Let's see, these are some classes that I did for the future. If I click on them and click join, so similar, this is what happens. So if you want to join a class, one of your classes in the future, let's go back to the calendar. Basically, you just go to the day. So for example, today 17, and let's see if I want to know tomorrow, what do I have tomorrow for my classes? I know, for example, I have this class. If another instructor has added another session, I will see the session of that class as well. So each instructor can add their sessions in their classes, and because I'm a student in that class, they will appear automatically into my calendar. And then all I have to do is just go to my calendar, maybe tomorrow at 9 in the morning. I know I have a class at 9. I'll click on it, I click join, and then the same thing will happen again. I can control my camera. I can turn it on or off. I can turn off my microphone. and then I click join, and they'll be able to be part of that session. So I think we covered everything. Let's go back and check the screen. I think we covered everything. So we talked about resetting student password for Kuwait University's email, downloading Microsoft Teams, changing personal setting in Microsoft Teams, joining a team, sending messages, downloading or uploading class material, joining live lecture, and we talked about assignment in Microsoft Teams and viewing grades in Microsoft Teams. We described all of these options. Let me show you. We didn't show you an example of a quiz, for example. Let's go back and see an example for a quiz. I think Engineer Fatma did post a quiz. So let's see how a quiz, it's an assignment. So let's see. Let's go to assignments. And quizzes can be graded automatically or manual, depend on the instruction. So this is basically an electronic form. So let's go into the quiz page. And that's how a quiz would look like. Similar to the assignment, quiz could have a certain time. So it can be, it could be a quiz, a homework. So the instructor, instead of sending you a Microsoft document, you could send you a quiz form, and then all what you have to do is just to answer these questions, and then you could have multiple choice. For example, you could answer, just type in some open-ended questions as well, so right or wrong questions. So different kind of questions can be created in these quizzes, and as I said, the instructor could set up the time when the quiz can start and when it's end. So a student would have a certain time to answer the quiz, and then you could send yourself a receipt and then click on submit. Now all of these are required, so that's why I wouldn't be able. They're red, so I'm just gonna type anything in here. So because all of them are required answered, so I wouldn't be able to submit it unless I answer these questions. I'm gonna answer the questions. Then click submit. That's it. And I've submitted my quiz. And I could view the results. I got 0 out of 20, none of the points. And it would show some of the questions, as I said, can be automatically be graded. Others can maybe have to depend on the type of question and how the instructor organized the quiz. And then click on close. So with this, I would stop. So I have submitted my quiz now. If I go back to the assignment page, I would see that I already have completed my assignment. Let me go to the grades to see my grades. I can see here, for example, the instructor, Muhandisa Fatma, Engineer Fatma, have posted my point. She gave me 5 out of 5 for the first assignment that I have, and she returned the assignment to me with some feedback, so she could add some feedback to me. And then with this one, maybe even after a few minutes, I would get the result with the feedback from the instructor. So I think with this one, we have covered the main information. Now I will go into the details of the. I will look into your question now, but just a reminder: if you have any questions or if you need any support, you could contact the Information Technology Unit at the College of Social Sciences. They have a new Twitter account, which is available on the screen, and they have even a WhatsApp number. You could send your questions, and they've been helping a lot of students and faculty members as well with any technical issues related that you might have faced. So you might have an issue with your email account, how to use a tool, a function. you could just communicate with them directly and they will be happy to help you. Let me go back to the questions and see if we have any questions. Someone is saying the screen is not appearing. I'm not sure that this was sent a while ago, so maybe it's something with the internet connection. I'm not sure. Okay. Another question says, when the teacher wants us to put PowerPoint, how can I open it? I showed that. You go to the file section. Let me go back to the page. If the instructor shares a file for you, with you, go to the file sections, and you would be able go to class materials. You would be able to see any file the instructors add to this, whether they are PowerPoint, Word, PDF, whatever file. If the instructors ask you to upload a file, now, as I said, if you upload it directly in this area, it will be public for everyone. So the better way maybe is to send the file as an attachment, if it's like a homework. So you could either upload it in the assignment section. So if the instructors ask me to upload a file, a PowerPoint file, I could upload it as part of the assignment. So I can submit the assignment and I could add a file to it. Or I could send it by email as attachment. I could do that as well. So there are many ways to, or through the chat as well. I could send it through the chat section, just type in, find in the name of the instructor, and then attach the file to that instructor, and they will receive the file. Okay, so I hope I answered that question. How about presentation? I think I explained that. If you are asked to present, when you join a meeting, when you click on a meeting and join a meeting, the instructor will give you the option to share your presentation. So you would open the PowerPoint file on your computer, and then you click on share, and then you choose that file as a window. You will select that file, and you will be able to share it. And I think with practice it will be clear. Okay, let's see if we have another question. I can show you how to use a class notebook. Let me check. Let me go back. One student is asking. Hold on. Let me check. I don't want to skip any questions. Can you show us how to use a class notebook? And how can I send an email? You can send an email if you go to an Outlook. Okay, let me show you back now. This is also another important application that you need, or a software. I would recommend even to download it in your mobile devices. Let's look into a class notebook now. Now, I think Engineer Fatma did not enable a class notebook. So let me go to one of the classes that I created. Oh, let me check. Dr. Riham Shaheen has a class as well. Let me check if she enabled class notebook. No, she didn't. So let me go back to one of the classes I have. This is a class notebook. So as I said, this is a OneNote application. It is part of Microsoft Teams now. So it's welcome to class notebook, as you can see. Let me do this. Okay. So you can have a bigger screen and then open the navigation panel. I want to show you something now. Now, when I create this notebook for my class, the collaboration space, basically, this is a place in which all students will be able to see. So they could use this space to write, as you can see, student notebook. So they could work on this together, okay? As you can see, this is a collaborate space, a space where everyone in your class can share, organize, and collaborate. And it even explained in notebook. Now, the content library, the definition is here. A read-only space where teacher can share handout with students. So, as an instructor, I could add any material in this page. Let me open the page as a notebook. And then, so that's a page if I click on, so the student will be able to see the collaboration space and they will be able to see the content library. They'll be able to add to the collaboration space, but they will not be able to add to the content library, okay? And then each student will have a specific section with their own name in which they can type whatever they want. Now this section is only visible to the student and the instructor. Now in this class, I'm the instructor. So I can see all the students we have. This is a demo class, so I have Engineer Fatma as a student and Dr. Riham as a student. So I can see their notebook. So what if they have a question, if they are taking notes, if I want to check on their note as an instructor, I'll be able to do that. However, Engineer Fatma will not be able to see the section of Dr. Riham, and Dr. Riham will not be able to see the section of Engineer Fatma. But they both will be able to see the content library section and the collaboration space. As an instructor, I'll be able to see everyone. So even if I have a 30 student in my class, every one of the students, I will have their name listed in this area. So if a student have a question, they could just go into, for example, if I'm gonna enter the section of Engineer Fatma, I could type in that space. Let me go, I don't want to close that. I could see and type in my comment, whatever information I want to type, and I could see whatever that person has typed in their own note. So I could comment on their note, answer the question if they have. All what they have to tell me is that could you check our note to see it, and then I'll be able to see their questions, their ideas, whatever I'm asking. So I could, as an instructor, I could ask the student, for example, if I enable the notebook, is to ask every student to go to their notebook and maybe write a summary about today's lesson. And then as an instructor, I'll be able to check everyone's work within the notebook. Or I could ask them all to type into one space, one area. We create a page in this space and everyone would be able to type in and add their thoughts and ideas and questions so everyone else can see it as well. So this is how the notebook would work. But as I said, the class notebook depends on the faculty. If the faculty wanted to use it, then they will enable it for the student to be used. If the faculty doesn't want to use it, it will not be available for the students. So it depends on the faculty. Okay, let me see if there's any other question. The workshop will register. I think you mean if it's going to be recorded. Yes, this workshop is recorded and we're gonna post a link. It will be posted on YouTube later on. So we will post the link at the Information Technology Twitter account. The Information Technology Unit Twitter account. We'll post the link for the this workshop. In case there is an essay exam, if we have difficulty to type in fast, I think that's what you mean, or that he means. While the instructor give the student, it depends on the instructor. So you could ask the instructor if the instructor give you an assignment or a homework to write an essay, for example, within 1 hour. So it depends on the assignment, it depends on the class, it depends on the material. So you could, this is something, it depends on the instructor. If they want to give you an hour, 30 minutes, 50 minutes, it depends. The instructor should be able to decide what is the appropriate time for their students to answer any kind of question. So you could contact your instructors about it if they decide to add an end time for their assignment. The screen is very blurry. Where is the sharing assignment options? The assignment option let me go back. The blurry, because maybe of the connection of the internet. I have it very clear in my screen, and I'm checking from another phone, so I can see it very clear. So maybe it's an issue with the internet connection, but as I said, the this lesson is recorded, so you would be able to go back and check it again. Okay, the assignment section, as I said, if you want to check your assignment, let me go back to one of the classes. But let's go to Dr. Riham class to see maybe the assignment in Dr. Riham class. So if I click on assignments, I would be able to see, for example, these are the assigned assignment for the class. I already have missed one assignment. I didn't do it. They do this, so it's in red and it's past due. And there's another assignment that is due tomorrow. So I could work on this, for example. Click on it, and she already added the page. So I could open this page, and then the file will appear. Then I could answer my questions in this page, answer the question in this page. I click open desktop and answer the question, close the assignment. After, I could add other materials, maybe if the instructor me to type in an essay maybe in my own document, so I could add a work and create a new document, and it will be added. Let's show that. I'm just going to create a PowerPoint file. Let's create a PowerPoint file to this. So this is, let's see, assignment. I'm just going to write number 2. So this is like for the second assignment. I'm going to type attach. So as you can see, I've already created. Okay, I'm having. It's not. I want to open the file, but it's not. Okay, so I could open the file now. Yes. So I created a PowerPoint file, and notice that I'm still in Teams. Okay, so I could type in whatever information or whatever is required. So I'll do my work here. Number 2. And close. And then turn in. So I've turned in the original file, and then I've added another document to the assignment. So I would be able to do that. And this is privately now. No other students will be able to see my work when I do this. I'm the only one who can see, with the instructors as well. Okay. So that's how we could add files to the assignments. Okay. Another question, how can I send an email? Okay, I forget to. As I said, if you want to send an email, how do you get to this? I don't know. There's a question, how do you get to the lecture using the laptop? I explained that. All what you have to do is go, and I will answer about the email quickly. Let me go back to see the email. Now the email, I will not be able to open the file. If you want to send an email to the instructor, open, let me do it again. I did it without explaining. If you want to go to and see the other applications of Microsoft, now Microsoft Teams is part of Microsoft applications or programs. So we all know Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Forms. There's a lot of Microsoft applications that we use. And there's one important application, and I think all students should know about, especially during this time. It's called Microsoft Outlook. See, it's this one here. This is where you can send emails and receive emails. And you could download this in your devices as well. So it's like Gmail. If you're using Gmail, this is the equivalent maybe of Gmail. And it also has the calendar with it. So if you want to send an email, you go to the Outlook, click on Microsoft Outlook. The way I showed these applications of Microsoft, or what I did, I clicked the 9 dots on the top left hand, sorry. Click on it, and then it will show the different applications. If I click on any of them, and in any of them, one of them, I will be moved on to this application. So click on Outlook, and from there you can send emails and check your received emails as well. And I encourage you all to download this application in your mobiles as well, and your new devices, so you would be able to see your emails from your instructors. The other question was about how do you get to the presentation or to the lecture using a laptop. I explained that. All what you have to do is to go, you have two options. Either if you go to posts, if I'm at the session and I want to go to post, I would see the post, for example here, Dr. Riham Shaheen. She had the information about that class. Even the class, now I cannot enter this class because it's cancelled. So I cannot enter this point, but it should show. The information should be showing in my post area. And all the instructions and everything, it would be showing in the post area. So it should show. Let's go to Dr. Fatma. Engineer Fatma. Now these are, for example, the lectures. Now she scheduled this meeting, even though these has ended, these are in the past. But any meeting in the future would be, and look at, this is information she had mentioned here. In this meeting, the student can't share and record. So let's go into this meeting. So if I click on this meeting and I join into this meeting, I turned my mic off, my camera is off, join now. So the first meeting we entered, we had the option to share our screen. Now in this meeting, as you can see, we joined the meeting. I just click joined, and then I'm in the meeting. But since nobody else would be in this meeting, because I'm not at the right time. So nobody else is in this meeting. And I could see the participant, and I can see the note from the instructor that this meeting, the student can't share and record. So if I open the option, see, in the previous meeting, we had the option to record, but this meeting, I cannot record this meeting. Only the instructor will have this option to record. Similarly, I cannot share anything in this meeting. The share button is off. I can raise my hand if I have a question, and you can see if I click compartment that I can. So the instructor maybe will allow me to give me a permission to speak. So this is another way. This is how we can join the meeting in the classes. I hope this answer. And then when I'm done, I can just hang up and then leave. So that's how you can join. Or the other option, if you click on the calendar, you should be able to see all the meetings or the times of the meeting that you have with your from your instructor. A student say, I can't see the 9 dots for Outlook to send an email. Now, yeah, maybe because using the desktop application. If you're using the desktop application, if you go to the start menu in your computer or the search and look for Outlook, it should be also downloaded in your computer. The reason the questions or the remark was that she cannot see or he cannot see the 9 dots to find the Outlook. Because I was using the web version, I would be able to do that. If you're using the computer, the downloaded team, go to the start menu in your computer and look for Microsoft Outlook. It should be at the same group with, or go to the letter O. At the end, you will find Microsoft Outlook with Office and OneNote. You should be able to find Microsoft Outlook, and then you would be able to access your emails from there and the calendar. I hope this answered the question about the Outlook. Is there any other questions? Because I don't see any other questions. If anyone has a question, you could send it to me. Is there we still have time. If you have a question, let me share again the screen for the Information Technology Unit at the College of Social Sciences. So you could, if anyone have technical issues, you could contact them through Twitter or send them a message through WhatsApp, and I think they'll be very happy to help you all. So for the last maybe minute, I think I answered all questions. I don't see any more questions. If anyone has a question, you could send it to me. Click on the question mark on your screen and then type in the question that I would be able to see it. So let me give it like 30 seconds or 1 minute to see if there's any more question. So far, nothing. Well, in this case, I want to thank you all for being part of this workshop. I hope that I was able to demonstrate the main functions of Microsoft Teams and how can they be and how it can be used for in the future for distance learning. I encourage all the students to not to to start working, practicing and learning about these applications as it will be probably part of the how learning will be conducted at Kuwait University in the future. So far, it seems to be that this would be our option in the future, is to use distance learning. So thank you all for coming again. Please stay safe and follow the instructions of health authorities, and stay safe. And if anyone have a question, you could contact us directly and we'll be happy to help in any way. Thank you very much. I will end up the workshop now.